Hello, everybody.
Greetings.
So, we did a bad. We know that this is coming in late, and we apologize. Or actually, I apologize. We were not able to see Muppets Most Wanted right away as far as its opening weekend because, unfortunately, Drak got sick. So, I apologize. I'm better now, and we are here, even though it is the opening weekend of Captain America, to discuss Muppets Most Wanted. So, first of all, to those who have not seen our vlogs, first of all, welcome. Hi, how are you? I'm Drak, he's Shadow. And for forewarning here, although this really doesn't apply to this right now since we're running late, is we're going to be talking major spoilers about the movie. So if you still have not seen Muppets Most Wanted, and I'm gonna preface this, we will get to Captain America a little bit. I have seen it. Alex doesn't really have an interest in seeing it, so I'll give my opinion. We won't go too much into the spoilers of Captain America, but this little double review, or however you want to do it, Alex, is going to cover that. But in the meantime, big spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, go see it. It's okay. We'll wait. So let's just kind of go into the overall plot of this thing. First of all, it's Muppets Most Wanted, guys. So if you're expecting a huge plot, I mean, I don't think a single Muppet movie has had like a huge convoluted plot at all. They're all pretty straightforward, especially since a lot of them mimic books. Actually, here's a great place to start off. So, Alex, you're younger than me. What's your history with Muppets? Have you seen a lot of the movies?
I haven't seen a lot of the Muppet movies. The one I remember fondly and watched all the time was the Muppet Christmas Carol, of course.
Yes.
Always around Christmas time would watch that one. I grew up watching Muppet Babies. I know that's a cartoon, but still, they're Muppets.
Yes. Well, no, it counts. It counts.
No, I probably caught an episode here and there of Muppets Tonight when that was on Disney Channel.
Oh, I forgot about that show. Yeah, the retake on the Muppets that didn't really take off.
And yeah, that's really about it.
So you didn't even see the previous movie?
No.
The previous one. Okay, so my history is I've pretty much seen them all. I don't have a whole lot of memories of a lot of them. But I have seen the Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper, Muppet Christmas Carol, Muppet Treasure Island, which is actually my favorite Muppet movie.
I've seen that one a little bit when it's been on Disney Channel.
Yeah, well,
Treasure Island, that is.
Tim Curry, man. You can't deny Tim Curry.
Of course.
Seriously. And then the next one was Muppets in Space, I think, which was all the sci-fi ones. I actually hate that one, and a lot of people love it.
I thought a lot of people hated that one.
All the people that I have talked about with Muppets in Space love it, and I hate it, and therefore I am the enemy. So, it's like Ghibli movies. I make a review of it, and then nobody likes my review. I just have that luck, I guess. And then the other one was the Muppets reboot that just came out a few years ago, which this is basically a direct sequel of. So, in a lot of cases, I feel kind of bad for you, Alex, because the premise of this movie is kind of lost on you a little bit.
Not terribly. I know what it was about because these are really simple movies.
Yeah, well, the purpose of the first Muppet movie really was to interject a new character, not only to get the Muppets together, but to put the Walter character in, who is based a lot off of I don't remember the actor's name, but if you know who Dr. Sheldon Cooper is in Big Bang Theory, I think it's based off of him. I might be wrong, but and if I am, please feel free to let me know in the comments. So. That's our history. I mean, I also watched Muppet Babies. I watched a lot of the Muppet series like Fraggle Rock and things like that, both animated and Muppety. And I did watch a little bit of Muppets Tonight, and I watched a little bit of the original Muppet Show. So, that's just because I'm an old fart like that. So let's go ahead and start going into the plot. And again, to the people who watched our Lego the Movie, this is going to be a lot like that because it's a comedy and therefore the plot is not big. The biggest premise of the plot is that the Muppets are together again.
Yay!
Again, and it's been booked for a sequel, and they're trying to figure out, okay, what do we do for a sequel? And then all of a sudden we get our guest appearance of Ricky Gervais. For people who don't know him, he's from the original British Office. That's where he got a lot of his fame from. He does a podcast, and I've listened to it here and there. But his character, Dominic Badgie, or Bad Guy, he is he makes the idea of going on an international tour. Meanwhile, ... we go to a Siberian gulag where the world's most dangerous frog, Constantine... I'm sorry, Constantine, really? I mean, seriously, every time I heard that, I'm like, what, is Keanu Reeves around the corner? He breaks out of the gulag, and it just so happens they look a lot... or him and Kermit look a lot alike, except for one defining characteristic is that Constantine has this mole, and that's the difference. Aside from the fact that he is like the freaking Kill Bill equivalent. I mean, he's like going through guards left and right and all that, and he also loves pressing the detonator switch. Mm-hmm. And now lights, and he's got these really deep Russian accent. So the plot is that they go into their first stop in Berlin, where Ricky Gervais's character, or Dominic, is basically loved by the Muppets more than Kermit. Kermit's definitely feeling that, and so Dominic urges him to go take a walk down a dark, deserted alley, to which Constantine meets up with him and slaps a mole on him, so now he looks like Constantine, and therefore will get caught, instead of the world's most dangerous frog and #1 criminal. And that kind of unites Dominic and Constantine together, where they are planning the biggest heist ever to steal the crown jewels. And in order to do that, we have to, the best part about this is because it's Disney. The way that we have to do that is we have to go through this whole National Treasure-esque kind of puzzle in order to steal the crown jewels. Mm-hmm. So it takes them across from Berlin to Madrid to Dublin, and then finally to London to steal the crown jewels. And in the meantime, Constantine is posing as Kermit, and Dominic is the agent for them, so nobody suspects a thing except for Animal, because Animal can tell. Because Animal tell! And while this is going on, you have two other kind of subplots. One of course, is Kermit being sent to the Siberian gulag. And then the second storyline is between Ty Burrell and Sam the Eagle, one of my favorite Muppets, by the way, as they are an Interpol and a CIA agent forced to work together to solve this national heist kind of thing. In fact, that's one of kind of the running gags, is that the Ty Burrell character, the Interpol officer, has been trailing the Lemur, which is Ricky Gervais's alter ego in this, and he's always that close and then oh so far kind of thing. So then the plot finally ends up with something that Muppets fans have been waiting forever to happen. The way that they're going to do the London heist, because they've had shows going on every time in all the other places, and while those shows are going on, when something loud happens, they're breaking into the bank or the museum that just so happens to be next door each time. And so when they get to London, the way that they're going to kind of mask the heist is Constantine, as Kermit, finally proposes to Miss Piggy. And a lot of Muppets fans have been waiting for this forever. The show, or the movie, kind of alludes to that, and in London it's the supposed wedding. Well, in the meantime, the new character, Walter, has been also suspecting Kermit is not who he says he is. And he kind of recruits Fozzie and Animal to eventually prove that he isn't Kermit, and then they go off to go rescue Kermit. Meanwhile, let's go to the Kermit storyline a little bit. He kind of realizes he can't get out, and so he is with Tina Fey from SNL and Danny Trejo in the middle of a Siberian gulag. And he's literally he's himself. He's Danny Trejo in the gulag, as well as Ray Liotta and a lot of other appearances. But since he's kind of realized that his friends aren't coming to get him, he's been put in charge of the annual prison review, which is basically just hosting a Muppet Show kind of thing. Cut over to that. Walter finally locates Kermit. They try to break him out, and they get out, obviously, because, Kermit has to save the day and stop Constantine from winning. To which he does. You know, they're about to steal the crown jewels, and Kermit steps up and has his showdown, his action movie showdown with Constantine, and then, like usual in these Muppet movies, Miss Piggy's the one who's the action star, not Kermit. And so that's pretty much how it kind of ends. That's pretty much kind of how it ends. I mean, it doesn't really have a whole lot of plot, guys, and it is absolutely, in the meantime, it is flooded with guest stars. I mean, I remember like the Muppet Show used to have maybe 1 or 2 celebrities come in, but this movie, and I don't think the previous movie did this.
No, the previous movie did. I remember.
Was it flooded with guest stars too?
Just because I've looked at the cast list before, and
okay.
One of the reasons I tended to avoid it then.
Well, and unfortunately we did it this time, but it's just kind of flooded with guest stars, and nothing against them, but it just feels like they may not have been used properly. But yeah, here is the plot. Let's kind of go into what we actually thought of Muppets Most Wanted, starting with you, Alex.
Yeah, this movie is pretty decent, I gotta say. It's not the most standout thing. It's probably not even the best the Muppets have ever done. I haven't seen a lot of Muppet movies, I know, but, it's a very, very mellow, easy to figure out story. I get it's for kids, but...
Well, the hilarious part is that in the best movies, okay, let's just take, because you mentioned your favorite was Muppet Christmas Carol, I mentioned mine was Muppet Treasure Island. How many guest stars were in those? Not very many.
Not many.
A lot of the cast was very extra-ish, and a lot of the main cast was Muppets.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's why you're going to see that, is because you're seeing an all Muppet cast.
Yeah, and I don't understand what is up with the parade of celebrities in these movies. I don't like it.
I think it's really they're just doing the Muppet Show the movie kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's at least my take on it. But even then, like I said, Muppets Tonight and Muppets Show did not have more than maybe 1 or 2 guest stars a night or a show.
I mean, isn't Mel Brooks in this movie too? Didn't he appear with Gaga in the beginning?
No, that was Tim Robbins.
Oh, that was Tim Robbins.
Or Tony Robbins?
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. Yeah, Lounge Lizard. I mean, that's how I know him. He looks very Rat Pack-ish.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I didn't even know that. Guys, I don't know who Lady Gaga is. I don't want to know who Lady Gaga is.
How do you not know who she is? I'm not saying you have to listen to her music.
I've never seen a picture of her, actually. I know her music just because, unfortunately my older brother has a Connect, and it's obligatory that you have to get Dance Central, and a lot of Lady Gaga songs are in there. But I'd never actually seen Lady Gaga. I'd seen impersonations of her, but I'd never seen her. And so, but even then, I had not seen her, and I knew who that was supposed to be, even without reading Gaga on her chest.
Yeah, she sticks out like a sore thumb. There's no reason for her to be in this movie, period.
The problem is that can be said of a lot of the celebrities.
Yeah, there's absolutely zero reason for almost any of these people to be in this movie. That was, I found, kind of annoying. It's more distracting than it is funny.
Yeah, because, we bring up these 2 movies, and I have a feeling this is going to be kind of a recurring thing. But who do you remember from Muppets Christmas Carol?
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Who do I remember from Muppet Treasure Island? Tim Curry. And that's why that sticks out. There are a lot of other human cast members, but
they're all extras.
They're all extras, or they're all, B or C list actors. So at that point, the people who are really stealing the show are Michael Caine and Tim Curry. I was about to say Tim Kaine and Michael Curry.
Yeah. You could have just, I get it, they're trying to do it as ticket bait. They're trying to, there's celebrities in this movie. People come see it, right? And
yeah.
I'm just what what difference does it make? Well, first of all, parents will drag their kids to these movies anyway. And 2, you already have Tina Fey. Tina Fey's hot, I
wouldn't even say she's very hot.
Not saying not hot in looks, but
no, I would not say she's hot in her career either.
Well, I don't know. She's doing good on SNL, and she's had a few successful.
She's not on SNL anymore.
Really? She left?
Yeah, she left because she went to go do the sitcom that Alec Baldwin was part of.
30 Rock? I thought she
30
did
Rock.
that long before, but
No, that's where she left.
I don't know. I disagree. I still think Tina Fey.
I know that she's come on and done a lot of guest spots because her Sarah Palin is very well known, but to my knowledge, she's not a permanent member of the cast of SNL. If she's come on, then that would make sense to me. But
I know she was a staff writer too for.
Oh, she's a writer for them, but
I figured whatever, Tina Fey could still sell it. I think she's still fairly big in her career.
Yeah.
I think. Again, I do have to say the celebrity cameos are pointless. I'm going to harp on this a lot. And then there's the very ending scene, which is the Coda musical, which is the
Together Again,
and they're all on the wall, and the Muppets look fine, but my God, that's the worst compositing I've seen.
Or the worst green screening when they put the celebrities up.
Yes, the Muppets were fine, I guess, because I'm sure the Muppets were on a wall, because that's easy, they're puppets, but really, when the celebrities were on the wall, that's some really awful compositing there. Somebody should get fired for that. Visual effects fail right there.
Let's actually get into this, because this is going to be kind of one of my beefs, too. It's not that... I mean, they can have a whole lot of celebrities. I don't have a problem with that. It's the fact that a lot of these celebrities, unlike Michael Caine and Tim Curry, feel very underutilized. Let's just kind of go list them off. Ricky Gervais, I've seen a lot of his comedy, and I think, in all honesty, if you let him go nuts in this movie, he would have done really well.
It felt like he was kind of phoning it in.
Yeah, the best example of it was his dance number.
Yeah,
he had a dance number with Constantine. I'm number one, you're number two, and that felt like, dude, he totally didn't want to do it. He totally didn't.
He looked bored out of his mind.
Pretty much, he looked horribly bored. That's the problem. And sorry, guys, funniest thing, as human beings, we all need water. Okay, so that's Ricky Gervais. They didn't utilize him properly at all. Tina Fey, not at all. I like Tina Fey. Okay, I loved her stuff with Weekend Update and Jimmy Fallon. I'm not so keen on the Sarah Palin just because I think she could have tried harder, but that's me. I just don't think... I think they did well with her as the leader of the Gulag, but the problem was that they did this whole plot storyline where she's kind of Helga from Hey Arnold, and she's got the secret Kermit shrine.
That's another thing I don't understand is if they know or at least she knows he's Kermit, so why is he still being held there?
Exactly. That's the gag, is that everybody thinks you're Constantine.
Yeah, it kind of...
And so at that point, the other thing they do is, since she likes him, and it's very apparent, that's why he's being kept there.
I guess, it's just the classic doppelganger story. It never made sense. There's another... I guess I can't harp too much on the film's logic. It's a Muppet movie.
Yeah, it's a Muppet movie.
I liked Sam the Eagle, though. And I'm not sure why he's a CIA agent, because why would the CIA be investigating stuff?
Because he's Sam the Eagle! Ever vigilant sign of patriotism!
I get that's what Sam the Eagle is.
That's what it is,
He's the all-American eagle.
He's the anal retentive American. Anal retentive about patriotism.
I remember that in Christmas Carol, too. He's like, it's just the American way.
Exactly. And
it's the British way.
Well, and on top of that, if you go into Muppet Treasure Island, he was the overly safe first mate, because we're American and we like to have things safe, Come with me, fellas. Come to this nice, safe little boat. In fact, the best gag in the movie actually does involve Ty Burrell, and I've not seen a whole lot from Ty Burrell. So if somebody has a movie that he's done and maybe I've seen it, please let me know. Because it really felt like he was doing Pink Panther stuff.
That's what I thought too. He got very close.
Almost like he could have starred right next to Steve Martin, but I've never seen the movies.
He probably should have done it instead of Steve Martin. In the Pink Panther remake.
Well, for all we know, they were both in it. So that's what I would actually like to know. If people have seen the Pink Panther movies, please let me know, because that would be absolutely hilarious. But the best gag in the movie, and this is just me doing classic Muppets, and I love Sam the Eagle, was the introduction of these two and the flashing of the badges. Because, you see it in every cop drama. Seriously, flash the badge, and whoever's got the biggest badge wins. Mm-hmm. And they overly did this gag, and it was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially with the UPS guy coming in, and here's the string. Oh, huge CIA badge. Yeah, he's in charge. And then forever they basically go into U.S. hates Europe and Europe hates U.S. I especially liked Ty Burrell whenever they always went into kind of European stereotypes. They literally walk out of the bank where a heist has happened. He's trying to figure things out. And he's, oh, I think I have it. I know what's going on. Oh, 2 o'clock. My workday is done. And he's immediately moving over to a table. Or the other one was they have caught Constantine in the lemur, and all of a sudden here comes, oh, look at the time, it is my 8-month mandatory paid vacation. And there's his family right there, and they walk off.
Or during the interrogation when Miss Piggy comes in and he
flips the table,
and it's like two lit candles for.
Oh, that musical segment too is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's a good.
They couldn't have done it. They couldn't have done it. They totally did it.
I gotta say, I was actually expecting the two to share a musical moment. I'm actually glad they did. I think that would have been unnecessary.
Well, they did share a musical moment. They
had
that whole
scene. Not besides that, I thought there was gonna be like the bromance musical.
Oh, that was the joke that we were making in the theater. It's like, wow, it's a European-U.S. bromance. The other joke that they like to make was the Le Maximum. Where it's a smaller European car, but apparently it's so spacious it's sickening. He should really be fired for owning that. And everything around him, I love when they introduce that car. Everything around him, Volkswagen, BMW, all of them are so spacious. And here's this little car. So Ty Burrell, I think he was utilized properly because he was strictly put with Sam the Eagle. And that was the comedy there. Especially
like when they're going to part company and they start to miss each other already.
Exactly. They start crying and everybody kind of has to snap them out of it. Let's go into some of the Gulag prisoners. Danny Trejo. He doesn't even have a prisoner name. Like everybody's being called Crusher, Annihilator, Prison Keeper, and good night, Danny Trejo.
Oh, that was a good gag.
So at that point, I think totally underutilized. It's Danny freaking Trejo. I mean,
you can't really it's a Disney movie. You really can't let Trejo off the chain.
Yeah, pretty much. Ray Liotta. I haven't seen Ray Liotta in a lot of things, so it was really kind of shocking to see him in the Gulag, and yeah, he wasn't using a Russian accent at all.
Let me guess, you haven't seen Goodfellas?
Pieces of Goodfellas.
Okay.
My cinema history is not all that great, guys. Sorry. I get to these things when I get to them. But I think the last thing I saw Ray Liotta in that I liked was like a cop movie. Something like that. Let's see. So, some of the other guest stars. Those are the only ones that I'm coming up with. Occasionally in these music numbers we came across a singing prisoner that we never saw the face until the very end. It was Josh Groban. I know Josh Groban just because if I didn't know Josh Groban, then I wouldn't be paying attention to all the female members of my family.
Yeah. You don't really know her, but apparently Saoirse Ronan was in this movie, and I had no idea. I missed her.
Yeah, I don't know her.
Yeah, you don't know her, but I kind of know her, but I think she's really talented, and
okay.
Which is a shame.
Again, underutilized?
Yes.
Okay. And then the other prisoner one that I can think of, and you actually missed this one, was Stanley Tucci. They're literally walking out and, typical prison movie, machine gun bullets get shot right across the floor, and it's Stanley Tucci that shot them. This is the part that I actually found funny because, and again, his name escapes me, but Stanley Tucci and him are the announcers in the Hunger Games movies. And it just so happens that, like, those two are doing a ton of work these days. It's like Toby something. And I just kind of laugh because, I mean, the last thing that we reviewed was The Wind Rises. So, we're reviewing Caproni again. And again, not a bad joke, but it's just a joke. And so at that point, you're like, you could have totally utilized Stanley Tucci, and you didn't. Let's go into some of the other ones. Frank Langella was in this. Again, underutilized. I mean, I like sat there and kind of... I wasn't even into the scene just because I'd seen it before. And I was like, who is that guy? What? I know him. Yeah, it's Skeletor from He-Man. That's how I should know him. Yeah, he's Skeletor from He-Man.
Wow.
That's how I know him. Because I haven't seen a whole lot of Frank Langella unless you count The West Wing. So, Frank Langella, Usher.
Usher, wow.
Usher was there for one joke. His name is Usher, and the wedding needed an usher. Wow. I could have totally done that joke better. P. Diddy.
Who was P. Diddy in this movie?
P. Diddy was in this. You don't know P. You're giving me crap for not knowing people.
I know who P. Diddy is. I'm asking.
Yeah.
Who was he in the movie?
He was himself.
Oh, he was himself. Okay.
You remember that train moment when Walter kind of comes out and goes, "Is Kermit acting funny?" He's with the little Spanish flea guy, rolling craps in his suit.
Right.
And then he's also in the prison
that's
wall gag.
Right.
So P. Diddy, again, underutilized. Horribly underutilized. Who else was in it? Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek, yeah.
Again.
Not really a celebrity, but I do have to say I love the fact that they shoehorned Rizzo the Rat in.
Yes, and Spanish Flea. That's kind of the job now. They have to shoehorn those characters in because that's all they can ever think of.
With the joke, where's for long forgotten Muppets.
Yeah, exactly. And then they brought out Robin. It wasn't even Rizzo that was the joke. It was bringing out Robin, who's supposed to be like Kermit's not son, but like cousin or something. And nobody's seen Robin in like forever. I think literally the last time people saw Robin was Muppet Babies.
I don't remember Robin in Muppet Babies.
Oh yeah, he had one episode in Muppet Babies where he was coming to visit Kermit, and he was I think he was kind of the spoiled jerk, kind of thing. And Robin, I think, got utilized very much in the Muppet Show, but we've not seen hide nor hair from him since. Like Let's see, Muppet Christmas Carol. That was the last time in the movies that anybody ever saw Robin, because he was Tiny Tim.
Oh.
So they did Rizzo, and then they walked out with Robin. But that was pretty much it. I mean, I can't really think of any other major celebrities that they did and even did anything with. I think, in all honesty, Ty Burrell was the only one they ever did anything with. Ricky Gervais just felt like, you missed an opportunity here. So we've actually been harping a lot on the negative. So let's flip this around. What is there things we liked about it?
Well, the musical numbers were catchy.
For the most part, there were a few where I was just like, this could have been better. But a lot of the musical numbers I liked, especially the ones like for the annual prison review. They were kind of hilarious. Something else positive that we can say. I don't really have a whole lot. I mean,
it's not so much this is a bad movie like
this is a check your brain at the door, and if you're a Muppet fan, you get a lot of the jokes.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
It's a decent movie. You'll have a little fun with it.
You brought up RoboCop, and I'm like, wow, Samuel L. Jackson could have been part of the guest stars. Kind of glad they didn't do that. Oh boy. So okay, overall, our viewpoint on Muppets Most Wanted.
It's good. You'll have fun with it. I say it's a solid rental.
Okay, so out of 10 or out of 5 stars, whatever.
I give it a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. I would give it probably the same thing. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 just because it could have been better if they didn't have like an overwhelming cast of celebrities.
We forgot Celine Dion.
Oh yeah, Celine Dion. Okay, let's go into her. Totally underutilized. In fact, a lot of the time when you think Celine Dion would be singing a song, it was Miss Piggy.
Well, actually, I thought Celine Dion had the more use out of everybody else.
Well, that's not saying a whole lot because they brought her in to sing.
Yeah, well, that's what Celine Dion is. She's a singer. So
yeah,
that makes sense. It's not like everybody else just shows up for 5 seconds just for the sake of having a celebrity cameo.
Pretty much.
And at least Celine Dion made sense because she shares a musical number with Miss Piggy, and I guess Miss Piggy analyzes Celine Dion.
I will say this about the Celine Dion segment. Is it just me, or did that whole song segment felt like it could have been like one of those Muppets YouTube things?
I don't know. I figured it's spoofing one of Dion's music videos.
That's what I was kind of thinking too, but like, have you seen the Muppet stuff on YouTube?
No.
Where they actually sing like, Queen song. I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me. I'm gonna get it on this video. Yeah, they've been doing like these gags on YouTube, and that's what that whole Celine Dion segment felt like. Just kind of like in the previous movie when they did this whole singing segment about Walter trying to find his place and his human friend trying to learned to let Walter go. Same thing happened here. I'd just give it a 7 out of 10. It's for Muppet fans and for kids. You will enjoy it. Okay? This is the Muppets in purest form. You'll get your money's worth. However, is it the best thing that the Muppets have done in the last couple of years? No. No, I can't say that. I would actually dare say Muppet Treasure Island was probably the last best thing they did. And that's my opinion, guys. So that's kind of our viewpoint of Muppets Most Wanted. Go see it, guys, just for the heck of it. And then, if you don't want to go and see it for the ticket prices, wait till Netflix. Because it's probably going to come out on Netflix. Is there anything else that we need to cover?
There's the Monsters University short.
Oh, yes. So before Muppets Most Wanted, we had a Monsters University short. I think we will cover the shorts if they're Pixar and Disney movies, just because.
Yeah.
Not really a whole lot to say, because I actually didn't see Monsters University.
I didn't either.
I was going to, but then I got busy, so... this was basically... There really isn't a whole lot of plot. There's supposed to be a frat party going on, and nobody's there, so Mike and Sully decide to solve that the only way they know how, which is to bring the bigger party a couple houses over to their house via door stations. So we have a bunch of really good gags for Monsters, Inc., given its Monsters, Inc. movies. I actually thought the best gags in it were when they would go to the human parents. Mm-hmm. So you had somebody screaming out, Janelle! And then the wife, it's a father and mother sleeping, and the wife wakes up and just goes, "Who's Janelle?" kind of thing. Or if they're making a whole lot of noise, then it just so happens the husband's pointing at her, and he's like, "Honey, you're snoring, turn over," kind of thing. And the way that ends is that they discover that the door stations are being used, and both the parents are traumatized and immediately go over to their kid's room and say, "Can we sleep with you tonight?" Because there's monsters in our closet. And I love the kid's reaction. "That's what I was trying to tell you!"
Yeah, it was a pretty decent short.
Pretty decent short, considering we both didn't see Monsters University, but we both saw Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
So we knew who Mike Wazowski and Sully were. James P. Sullivan were. So, great little shorts. I would actually dare say it's probably a little bit better than the movie, but not by much. I mean, it's a short. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to cover. Oh, the next one. So if people are wondering what our next movie we're going to be covering is, we're not going to be doing anything else for the month of April. We're going to be going into May, and we're going to be starting things off with Villain Fest 2014. I'm sorry, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. No, I'm kidding. It's Villain Fest 2014. Which is appropriate since Jamie Foxx, either Spider-Man 2 does well or Annie does well, but he's got to have one of them. So.
I says Spider-Man 2 will do well. Annie's gonna bomb, I'm sure.
I don't know. I'm kind of the opinion, guys. Both of them are gonna bomb. So if people want to leave comments on that, go ahead and do so.
Why do you think it's gonna? Why do you think?
I don't have a whole lot of faith in. I will say this, guys. I am walking in with not a whole lot of faith in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think Andrew Garfield does well, and I've got no qualms with that, but the problem is that I think this is going to bomb, like Spider-Man 3 bombed horribly.
Spider-Man 3 was a big grosser. It just critically bombed, and a lot of people...
Then that's what I mean. Because at that point, I think Sam Raimi should have told Columbia TriStar they're full of crap, and actually just done the Sandman storyline that he wanted to do, instead of trying to shoehorn in Venom. Because then at that point, Venom, who is a bigger Spider-Man villain in some cases, probably not as big as Sandman, but he got shoehorned in and therefore didn't get a lot of the love. Mm-hmm. The same thing I am very worried about in this movie, because you have Jamie Foxx's character, Electro, you have the Green Goblin getting hinted at with Harry Osborn, you have Rhino being played by Paul Giamatti, and then you also have some security guard hinting being Mysterio. So at that point, guys, that's too many people. And I don't care if you're hinting at Amazing Spider-Man 3. You need to have a main villain. And right now, since you have Paul Giamatti and Jamie Foxx, I have no idea who's getting more coverage there. That's a problem. Is Electro... Rhino's not a big Spider-Man villain. Electro kind of is. But when you have a big name like Paul Giamatti, it's kind of hard to say that he's going to be second banana, you know. So at that point, I'm really worried that in order to tell the story of either Electro or Rhino, we're going to get shafted because they're also trying to focus on Green Goblin, and they're also trying to focus on Mysterio, and they're also trying to focus on Venom and Carnage, and all that. That's why I'm calling it Villain Fest 2014. Because it's going to have the same problems that Spider-Man 3 did. And I'm a Spider-Man fan, guys. That's just my issue with it. So, unfortunately, a lot of people are just going to blame me. So, sorry. I'll give my opinion honestly. Shall we go into some of the summer movies that we're going to go into, Alex?
All right.
We are going to do Godzilla, guys. So people have actually asked, are you going to do Godzilla? Yes, we are doing Godzilla. Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Have you seen old school Godzilla?
Yeah.
There you go. Why wouldn't we do this? We saw Pacific Rim! Which in a lot of cases where I would applaud it for giant robots, everybody's like, oh, we need to mention all the Toho ripoffs. Really? Really? Toho ripoffs? I've seen a majority of the Toho canon. There's not a ripoff in there. There are elements of them, but there's not a ripoff. Mm-hmm. There's not a legitimate Godzilla. Okay. Just pointing that out there. So we will be doing Godzilla. Transformers 4. Yes. Yes, we will be doing it. Mm-hmm. Look, guys, I've pointed this out. If you guys have not seen our podcast, go over to my channel, Drak2326, and go listen to Geek News Reviews and Opinions, my podcast, which is going to be airing there pretty soon. And you'll get my opinion on Michael Bay, which is, it's not that I'm thinking he's going to fail with his 2 movies this year, but I am not excited for them at all. I've seen the Turtles trailer. I've seen Transformers 4. I'm not excited for either. So I will go. I don't have a whole lot of expectations. I'm going to check my brain at the door, and that's going to be it. If I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I'm going to say my opinion. Your opinion on this, Alex?
I didn't think at first I was going to see Transformers 4, because I thought they should have just stopped at 3.
Yeah.
But, I don't know for sure how it's going to turn out. I thought 3 was sort of it's okay for me. I really liked the first. I guess I shouldn't get too much into this because we're going to review it soon, but I liked the first one a lot.
We're just going to repeat this.
The second one was okay. Then the third was really just kind of meh. The Ninja Turtles, again at first, didn't want to see it just because I've had the guilty pleasure love for the original 1990 movie.
Yeah.
But the trailer kind of sold me. It does seem okay. I'll check them both out.
See, the trailer didn't sell me at all. It just made me question a lot of its concepts. So we're gonna go see it, and that's just the bottom line. We can't say whether or not we're gonna like it until we actually do a vlog for it. Hopefully, these things will be a little bit more on time. Let's see the other movies that are coming out this year. We will be doing Guardians of the Galaxy. Alex is not walking out of that one. Okay, I gave him a free pass for Captain America because I should have forced you to go see the first one, and I didn't, and that's on me. But Guardians of the Galaxy, you're seeing.
Okay.
Because we have to review Vin Diesel as, is he Rocket Raccoon or Vin? I can't remember. I think he's Groot. We have to review it.
Right.
That's just the bottom line. I'm trying to think of some of the other summer movies. Wow, we had a list of it right in front of us, and I completely forgot them. To the people who are probably asking if we're going to do Maleficent with Angelina Jolie, absolutely not.
No.
Sorry. Neither of us are interested. I am not an Angelina Jolie fan. I like the character Maleficent, but I looked at Angelina Jolie and went, they're going to fail, because I don't think she's gonna be able to pull it off. Jiminy Christmas, man. We had these. But yeah, the next one will be Amazing Spider-Man 2. We will cover that. We will cover Transformers 4 in June, and then in August is Ninja Turtles. We'll cover that. Oh man, this is going to bug me.
That's it for the summer, I think. I don't think there's really much else.
There actually is a lot. Days of Future Past. X-Men Days of Future Past with Bryan Singer. Mm-hmm. Are we going to see that?
Yes, we're going to see that.
We're going to see it. Because it's Bryan Singer. I even said this in radio. This is Bryan Singer's return. Or, I'm sorry, he's coming crawling back saying, X-Men fans, I'm sorry, okay? I wanted to do Superman. Well, okay. Let's see if you can pull this off. Apparently it's good enough that you got Hugh Jackman to sign for Wolverine 3, so we'll see what happens there, but we'll definitely see Days of Future Past. But those are the movies that I'm thinking of right off the top of my head. Also, for the Drak and Shadow channel, expect a lot of really fun stuff over the summer. But in the meantime, I think I've talked enough. I think you have talked enough.
Yep.
We're signing off.
So long, guys. Thanks for watching.